This video is brought to you by my absolutely incredible patrons. Seriously, I would not be able to bring you all this content without them. Thank you all so much. If you want to join them, head to the link on screen or click the link in the description. If we reach my current goal, I'll be able to come to a USA convention a lot sooner and finally meet a lot of you. But for now, enjoy the video. Hello, welcome, okay, you've decided that you are going to commission a fursuit! Yay! Well, you could just throw any old character at your fursuit maker. There are actually a lot of pros and cons for all the different designs and colors and things that are really worth taking into consideration. Now, this isn't going to be a, oh, don't do this, don't do that, make sure you definitely do this kind of thing kind of video. I am just raising some points that I believe are really good to keep in mind when designing your character. There are a lot of things I wish I knew before I designed Pocari, so what you do with this information is completely up to you. The first thing that I would like to talk about is white fur versus black fur. White fur, while always looks very nice, if you plan on being an extremely active suitor and you don't want to be, you know, stain treating your fursuit every day, you need to be very careful about where you put it. From my personal experiences, I would not recommend putting white on your feet, your butt, or the bottom of your tail if you have like a really long tail. I have white on the bottom of my massive root tail and I have regretted that decision so hard. Like if you've seen my fursuit washing video, you've seen just how dirty it was even with my best cleaning efforts. Like I had to resort to bleach to get that tail white again. And with feet, whether they're indoor feet or outdoor feet, are always getting dirty and are the biggest pain in the world to keep clean. I am so glad that not the entirety of my foot is white. My toes are blue, but the rest of the foot is white. And even then, like, it is always really dirty around the back of those feet. Do you want me to show you? So here's my foot. Seems not too bad. But then you look on the other side, it's always dirty. But then you look at the blue. The blue's fine. Technically, the blue is dirtier than the white because of just like all the grass and mud and stuff. But you can't tell because it's not white. Or if you want an example of indoor feet, I have my very nice Adezu feet here. These are indoor sock paws, which looks fine and all, but then you look at the bottom and it's just, I've never ever worn these outside. This is just from purely wearing them indoors. So this isn't even white. This is just a very, very light color. So all this applies to really light colors too. I have to carpet spot clean these pretty much after every wear and it gets very annoying and I wish I didn't design my feet like that. Like every time I see someone with a suit that is completely white, I'm just like, how? How do you do it? That suit must have like the world's highest upkeep. So it's worth keeping in mind that white can equal maintenance and you really should be careful about where you put it. Then you have the opposite, black fur. Very low upkeep. You really can't stain something that is already pure black. But there is still a downside. Suits that are mostly black tend to not show up very well in videos and photos with other suits. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. If I lean right back here, you can see me pretty well. You know, like, my shirt's a bit dark, but, you know, my white looks good. You can see all my details. You know, things are fine. But if I keep my camera settings the same and change into Zach,
hello, darkness.
Like, it's definitely not as bad as it could be because, you know, I've got proper studio lighting going on, but, still not the best. Like, you can still get the gist of it, but you can't see, like, all the details of the black fur like you can with Pocari's fur. It gets a bit better as I lean closer and, you know, get a bit closer to the lights. Hello. But yeah, it can be quite a strain on the eyes, so I have to adjust my camera settings so it looks a bit better. Like this. There we go. Much better. For any camera people out there, I literally just jumped up the ISO by 2000. There we go. That's heaps better. Now you can really make out all the details in the suit and it looks great. Like, what you're seeing now is pretty much how it looks in person. So you're probably thinking, oh, problem solved, right? Well, what if I wanted to bring Pocari into this video? Oh my goodness. You're glowing. You're glowing, boy. Look at that glow. All hail the mighty glowing Pocari! Yeah, if I wanted to be in a photo or a video with a suit that's white, it doesn't quite work. One of us has to be either too bright or too dark. Like, you can fix it in post, but not everyone does that or knows how to do that. So yeah, if I wanted to do a video with these two suits, I'd be kind of stuck. I'd try and have to find like a middle ground where, you know, the Pocari wouldn't be glowing too much, but Zach isn't too dark. Like, he'd still have to be dark because the white wins out. You can't have that glow, that's silly. So, yeah. Anyway, like, you'll often find yourself just being a black mass among all these other really bright and vibrant fursuits, and it still looks fine in person. In person, it looks absolutely great. It's just cameras tend to struggle with like really deep blacks, and especially when the person behind the camera doesn't otherwise know how to compensate for it. Like, I've found it so many times when I'm watching videos of dance competitions, like there was this guy in a complete black suit, like totally black, and he was trying to tut. I'm not gonna try and show you, I can't tut. It's like the arm flippy floppy thing. And but because his suit was completely black, I could not see a thing he was doing. You know, it was black paws against black arms and a black body, and you see movement, but you can't make out the, you know, really precise techniques and stuff. I don't know if he was a really good tutter or a really bad tutter. Like, I just couldn't see. So, I'm not saying don't get a black suit. Of course you can get a black suit. I've got one. So, it's just more stuff to be aware of. Plus, it can be very easily fixed by breaking up the black with some other colors, like, you know, stripes or other cool markings and stuff. Or just don't use a full-on jet black. Maybe use something that's just a dark grey instead. But with that, let's talk about markings. Now, when it comes to artwork, there are so many possibilities you can have. Like, I know so many ridiculously amazing characters that have been so well designed, but there are a lot of designs out there that just aren't fursuit friendly. And by not fursuit friendly, I mean it's something that is not very easily achieved on a fursuit. Sometimes it's impossible, sometimes it's just ridiculously difficult to the point where a lot of makers won't do it. The most infamous non-suit compatible markings being gradients, you know, when you've got one color that slowly fades into another color. While it looks amazing in art, it is very difficult to achieve with a fursuit. Small ones are fine, you know, you can just airbrush them. That's how everyone does all their nice realistic suits with all the lovely fades, the colors and stuff. Like, if you just have two colors and you just want them to very smoothly transition into another, that's fine, that's just an airbrush, that's an easy fix. But not when you want the transition to be, like, limb length. I don't think you even can, like, perfectly gradient a whole suit. I've certainly never seen it before. If you have seen one, please, I would love to see if anyone's actually done it. And don't forget, not all makers do use airbrushes either, so unless you do manage to find a maker that is extremely liberal with airbrushes, gradients can be a real pain and cost a lot more on top of your suit. So I would just really recommend keeping them to a very small minimum. Then you've got markings that are like logos or symbols or, like, you know, tribal tattoos, just anything that has lots of tiny and intricate details. While definitely not impossible, it can still be very difficult for a maker to do, and they take a long time to do, so that means more labor costs, which makes the price of your fursuit skyrocket. Some can be airbrushed, some can be sewn, depends on what your maker's preferences and your preferences. But I personally prefer to not have any airbrushing at all, like, that's my personal preference. But that's because airbrushing doesn't actually last forever. Airbrushing is not permanent. It will fade over time and with washes to the point where you'll eventually have to get it redone. So because of that, I don't like airbrushing. So when you don't want airbrushing, then the other option is to have them sewn in, but that has its own disadvantages too. Tiny sewn in markings means more seams, which means more weak points in your suit, which means more popped seams, which can be really infuriating to have to fix all the time. Again, I am a total hypocrite with this because I'm getting Niho made and she's got all those tiny itty bitty spots all over her arms and legs, but I am aware of the fact that it is going to up the price of the fursuit. You know, I budgeted for that, and I can also sew, so I am prepared to fix them all. Honestly, I'm just happy I found a maker that was crazy enough to do it. Oh, and a quick plug as well, if you ever need help designing a character to make it more fursuit friendly, please go commission Neon Slushy. That is a specific service that Neon Slushy provides. Be like, hey, I've got this character, I want to get it for a fursuit, can you please do me a rep that is easy for a maker to follow and will be easy to put on a fursuit. I got one for Niho in case I couldn't find anyone to do the markings, and this is what they came up with. You can see there's a fair difference. Anyway, my last point is wings. Oh boy. I have seen wings be the downfall of so many suits. If your character has wings, you need to think very carefully about how you're going to go about it. Do you want them to be full size? Do you want them to be open? Do you want them to be closed? Do you have a strong enough back to carry them? Are you going to be able to repair them when they eventually sag over time? Has your maker even made wings before? I find that a lot of suits that have, you know, the massive proper full-on dragon wings or angel wings, they actually have them removable, because not only does it make the traveler a lot easier, they've got the option to wear the suit without the wings. Because while wings look great, they can be annoying as all hell. You will be bumping into everything. So a lot of people with properly winged characters, when they get a suit, they'll instead just opt to have some little chibi wings. Chibi wings are definitely the easiest way to go about it, because there's no upkeep at all. They look after themselves, just tiny little chibi wings. But full massive ones can be very high maintenance, especially if the maker is not experienced in them, because if they're not experienced in them, they're not going to know the best way to go about building them, and then you could end up with a fursuit that is perpetually uncomfortable and annoying. So work out exactly what you want and discuss it with your maker. So those are the main points that I wanted to bring to your attention. But now I would like to hear from you. Like, do you have something that I didn't mention that you really wish you knew before you got your first fursuit? Or maybe you're a fursuit maker and there's something that people keep doing with the designs that really, really annoys you, and you want to advise people to, you know, avoid that. So let me know your thoughts and your tips. Alright, I shall see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!